Anyways, let's learn about pregnancy then. Yaba only has like 2 weeks to go of the second trimester. Could you believe it? Then it's third trimester, the final stretch. Things have been going really slow.
Pregnancy is a hardcore sci-fi epic of war, peace, and compromise. Babies are basically very cute tumors that grow a completely new organ inside a different human. Their mum's body graciously allows this, while the new life saps her resources and challenges her immune system
Did they time this with the whole Tylenol thing, or were they just gonna make this regardless?
its limits for months. Biology is brutal and beautiful and metal. Let's zoom in and observe this brutal struggle for survival that in the best case ends in one of the most magical things, a new life.
Came out like
Our story begins with an army of tens of millions of sperm cells that immediately face death. They're on a tight timer before they run out of energy and die. But this is the least of their problems right now. Like all bodily openings, the female reproductive tract is a fortress defending against invaders. The future mum's body has set up deadly barriers and puts the sperm through a brutal process that kills almost all of them and ideally selects the strongest and fittest one. The first deadly obstacle is a highly acidic environment guarded by hundreds of thousands of guard cells. The acidity kills millions, especially of the weaker sperm within the first half hour, although they have a bit of protection. Seminal fluid is alkaline, so it makes this first obstacle a little less deadly.
I heard also maybe he's gonna talk about it, like the egg chooses.
Don't let your kids watch it.
Hey, we're watching that. The egg like also makes a selection. TJ Uki, 11 months. He says another day and I'm still gay. Good for you. Thanks for the resub.
The survivors reach the next obstacle, a treacherous maze full of protein nets where millions more find a brutal end, getting stuck and lost. Now,
someone should turn this whole gauntlet into a video game.
If a woman is in the part of her menstrual cycle where she's ovulating, her body helps the sperm out a bit by releasing chemicals that guide the way and by being a bit less hostile. Luckily for our brave sperm, this is the case today.
So brave.
Only a couple of hundred, less than 0.0001% of the original sperm pass through into the uterine cavity.
That's pretty
where
hardcore.
2 tunnels branch
it's like the ultimate battle royale.
out. Here, mucus helps transport the stronger sperm to move on while weeding out the weaker ones. The mum's immune cells pick off and devour every cell that trails behind or takes the wrong turn. And then, finally, maybe just a few dozen sperm reach their goal, the mighty giant egg. 10,000 times bigger than them, it's an industrial-scale monster loaded with nutrients and nearly 100,000 mitochondria, the powerhouse of the cell, 50 times more than an average cell. But the egg is not easily conquered. The survivors get closer and try to get in until the egg decides to accept a single one of them.
Yes, so that's the ultimate. So you could be one of the 12 or whatever champions out of like, what, millions to make it all the way here? And then the egg goes like, no, not you, you.
Genes of 2 individuals merge. The egg stops being part of its mother. It's something else now. A new being with its own agenda. Not a human yet, but the potential to become one, like a thought that's not yet a word. But its mum's body hasn't decided yet if she wants to say it out loud. It will have to fight for that. For a few days, it rapidly divides and grows to a couple of hundred cells while traveling down to the uterus, the part of the female reproductive system where it will try to make its new home. Here, it begins to divide into 2 specialized teams of cells.
Why was it that it went off to one of the sides here, onto the right? Could I do some of them split off to the left?
One will eventually become the baby.
That's RNG. Okay, but what if some of them go left and some of them go right? And then what? Is that how twins are made? I don't think so. Was there no egg in the other side? Maybe they alternate? They did say something about killing the ones that took the wrong way. If your dick is tilted right, it goes right. 1 month is left, the other month is right. Ah, okay. You went through this, you should know. Yeah, I didn't provide a fucking map for my seed. Okay, they just went autopilot.
The other cells are trophoblasts, and their job is to turn into a temporary organ inside the mother, the placenta, that will make pregnancy possible and eventually die.
I think
This
twins
means
are
that
made.
when you were an embryo,
Twins is that, isn't it like, actually, I'm not sure. Is it 2 eggs that get both, or is it 2 sperm and then it splits? I don't fucking know. I don't remember.
there was this whole other part of you, not like a twin, even closer, maybe like a guardian angel clone. These cells never had the chance to become a human. Their only purpose in life was to make you exist. In any case, the following days are the most dangerous for the potential new life.
Oh, no.
Like a tennis ball rolling through syrup, the young embryo moves along the uterus and tries to take a hold. An intense chemical dialogue between 2 living things begins. The embryo releases dozens of chemicals that announce its presence and asks the guard cells of the uterine wall to allow it to please attach itself so it can survive.
Can I hang out in here?
The uterus responds with dozens of hormones and immune signals itself. If it's satisfied with the quality of the chemical conversation, its cells allow it. If it doesn't, the embryo will be lost and die.
And this is where, like, when you talk about early miscarriages, I've understood a lot of them are at this stage already. So a lot of people don't even realize they've miscarried.
This is where we begin to see the interests of both living beings no longer completely align anymore. Pregnancy is a huge energy investment, so the mother's body will eject the embryo if it doesn't see it as viable. The embryo, on the other hand, faces a life and death situation and tries to stay alive at any price. So it's not asking politely, but deploying thousands of infiltration units, bubbles filled with genetic material, kind of like a human virus. They sort of invade the uterine cells and try to brainwash them, so they help it attach itself rather than rejecting it. During this time, one of the weirdest features of pregnancy occurs. The uterus provides uterine milk, not real milk, but a clear fluid filled with nutrients and hormones that the young embryo sucks up hungrily to gain additional energy until it gets inside. If the embryo is allowed in, the implantation was successful, the first critical hurdle. The next step is to reach the blood vessels of its mother, the only way to survive if it doesn't want to starve. The trophoblasts begin to clone themselves on a massive scale and turn into different specialists. One of them turns into a violent invader that starts drilling into the uterine tissue like a tiny parasitic octopus with many arms, spreading and growing. This is a brutal process, ordering loads of its mum's uterus cells to destroy themselves, killing others directly, or even devouring some cells whole.
What did you say? At this stage, the Tylenol teaches the embryo about trains and Magic the Gathering.
While this sounds brutal, and it is, this process is highly regulated and doesn't hurt the mum. It's another test. The mum's body monitors carefully how the embryo is doing. Is it growing quickly, or is it more chill? If an embryo has genetic damage or chromosomal abnormalities, it will spend way more energy on repairing itself and maybe grow more erratically. This makes it metabolically noisy, releasing loads of chemicals the mum's immune cells pick up, which provokes them and makes it more likely that they'll destroy it. On the other hand, if the embryo is weak, it's metabolically too quiet and the mum will stop talking to it, which also ends the pregnancy. This embryo...
So silver lining maybe if you lose it, I guess, in the start is that it was probably weak anyway. I guess that doesn't really help, but...
is just right. So the mum's cells release a flood of different chemicals to help it out, support it growing, and most importantly, activate her immune system. Usually this would be very bad. The immune system kills everything that's not part of the mum's body, and this embryo is clearly not part of her. But the immune cells of the uterus surround the embryo and start helping it, guiding the trophoblast to grow further. They create a physical and chemical safe zone that tells dangerous immune cells like T cells to stay away. The embryo has its own motives and doesn't want to rely on its mother's goodwill alone, so defensive trophoblasts send out signals that kill her immune cells if they get too close and could start attacking it. Hundreds of cells go even further and leave the embryo behind. They spread all across the mum's body, entering organs, even the brain. We don't know what all of these cells are doing, but we think that they're probably telling her immune system that the embryo is not to be attacked, that it should be left alone or even protected. These cells may stay inside the mother for years or even decades. It's likely that parts of you are still in your mother. Around 8 weeks after the egg was fertilized, the transition from the embryo to fetus begins. The size of an olive, its organs begin to form, and it turns from a blob into something vaguely human-like.
I remember when Yabba's app said it was the size of an olive. Oh, the good old olive days. Some of the fruit I remember better. For some reason, kiwi really stuck with me. I remember the kiwi days.
Is there a clear point where a clump of cells becomes a human? Not really. It's a fluid transition, and every society and person, be it morally or legally, marks this moment differently. Meanwhile, construction trophoblasts are busy building a spongy finger-like structure that expands further into the uterus, a completely new organ. The placenta, an organ that you once grew inside your mother, that was
I should eat that.
injected after your birth and died a silent death while everybody was busy welcoming you into the world. In our story,
Good
the
nutrients.
placenta is now the new home of the fetus, an enormous fortress protecting it from microbes that could infect and kill it in its still pretty fragile state.
Placenta cookies,
It
right?
even has its own mini immune system, placental immune cells that gobble up anything that poses a threat. Other placental cells creep along the inside of the mum's blood vessels, stretching them and connecting the fetus through the umbilical cord on the other side. With the blood flow secured, it's time to load it with as much food as possible. The placenta releases hormones that funnel glucose directly to the fetus, stealing energy from its mum. If the fetus goes too far and asks too much, this can sometimes lead to gestational diabetes for the mum during the pregnancy, starving her body of energy.
Damn.
The mother's body is trying to support the new life, but not at the cost of her own survival. In a sense, the mother's genes inside the fetus still have a stronger allegiance to her than to the new being, but its father's genes don't. They want the fetus to survive at all costs. So while there's a sort
damn.
of fragile peace between
Oopsie.
both parties, it is just that. Their interests are not perfectly aligned, and both sides have to deal with that. In the next few months, the fetus will increase its weight
We are here.
over 1 billion times, which demands a staggering amount of energy and cooperation. They still need to work together to get out of this alive. But if the fetus gets to this point in the pregnancy, chances are pretty high that it will become a baby like you once were. A proper human, like you are today.
Real proper
A being
human.
with immense potential. If you're alive today, then you went through an amazingly brutal selection process. From a little pack of genes traveling through an incredibly deadly
Good
obstacle
job, Chad. Proud of you for doing this.
course, fighting for your survival with desperate words spoken through chemicals and sneaky actions, trying to outsmart the system, fighting to be alive in this world. But this is only one side of the story. You were also chosen by hormones that led you to the right place, by the egg allowing you to merge into one, by your mum's body that liked how you spoke to her, by her cells that protected and cared for you,
Wow.
nourished by an incredible amount of energy
That's a
that your
shrimp fryer.
mother gifted you. Our biology is a brutal, unforgiving, but necessary part of the greatest wonder there is, the creation of new life, of you, of all of us. Kids fill us with a sense of wonder. It's our job to foster this sense
I
of
thought they were
wonder
probably
in
going to
them
mention
as well.
something about
Our sponsor,
Tylenol in
Kimiko,
this, but they
is a
didn't.
great start to spark
Maybe it was just a
curiosity in your
coincidence
kids
then
from the earliest moments
with the
on,
release.
basically from birth.
They dropped
This
their
is one
video
of their
game
traits
recently, I
you
saw. I don't know if
want.
it's any
So,
good.
Let's explore it
Looked
together.
mid. Look at these babies.
This crate is part of the KiwiCo Panda Crate line of research-backed toys and activities
Buy that for
to
Glorp.
support your baby's development. You can promote vision, hearing, and gross motor
A lot of toys these days are released in these like weaker desaturated pastel, which looks nice and fits nice into people's living rooms, but it's worse for the babies. They don't have very good vision in the start. They can't see shit. They need strong contrast.
curriculum to promote a kid's development at every step.
Not very
All their
science-based.
toys are created and backed by experts and made from high-quality materials. A KiwiCo subscription could be the gift that keeps on giving.
But Zalma is leaving. Say goodbye to Zalma. Bye, Zalma. You some kind of a baby toy expert now? Yes, sir, I am. Right in the start, you only really need like black and white, like a paper with black and white shapes on it. It's about all you need to interest them in the start, apparently.
The camera's been on the whole time, huh?
The camera's on. Exact date until
Hello.
child spawn. 103 days. Time until you don't have to take care anymore. 6,677 days. Wow. Dude, almost the 100-day mark. It's kind of cool.
There's a best of internet daily dotes. There's the new unusual memes. This thing looks insane.